Hello, 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 everyone out there in Facebook land. It is Tuesday. So you know it's Breathe Experience Tuesday. It is the Breathe Experience. I hope y'all took that breath with us.
Yes, Brad.
Because every time, and it's needed, and y'all already know, because that's why we here. That's the sole purpose, other than educating y'all and entertaining and having deep conversation. We're here to remind you to breathe. That's why it's called the breathing experience.
Continue. You got me going into the song, girl.
What song you was gonna say?
Continue to breathe.
Oh, we ain't there yet.
I told you back, but then you asked what it was. I couldn't help myself.
I feel you, sis. Live your best life, whatever that is for you in this moment. Okay. And it is the Creative Black History Month show, y'all, and we're super excited. Well, I'm always excited. I say that's nothing new because at the top of every show, I'll be like, I'm excited. Like, we know, Natalie, we know. But I'm excited because we're talking some more about Black history. This week's topic is history, so we're going to let you know some history about some of our favorites. And outside of that, we're also going to show you and share with you some of our artistic talents. Okay, Dion Victoria is letting you in right now with the come through as she paints currently because she's been live painting for these past few shows, and we here for it. We here for it. And I'm going to put you on game with some poetry at the end of the show before y'all know our breathe moment at the end with Miss Dion Victoria. But before we hop too far into today, you already know Miss Dion Victoria was giving you a preview. Okay. It's Breathe by Miss India Ari, the goddess and queen of light herself. Okay. Again, India, we love you. And this song is our theme song because this is what the Breathe experience is all about. Remembering to breathe through those hard places, through the happy places, through the traumatic places. Remembering to breathe, not only for you, but for everyone around you. All right. But for you first. And here we go. Breathe by Miss India Ari.
Sometimes you just can't believe the things your eyes see. So much injustice in this life, and it's happening right on your TV screen. So you drop to your knees and you're praying, cause you can hear him saying he can't breathe. And it's all so overwhelming, because you know there's nothing you can do to help him. Continue to breathe, continue to breathe. In times like these, that's what your heart is for. Continue to breathe, continue to breathe. In honor of your brother, that's what your heart is for. There's always someone trying to take someone's power away. The history of the world is violent. Will it ever change? Now we're living in a time where you just can't hide. There's a camera in every hand. It's not elusive, even when they treat you like you're useless. We know what the truth is. Continue to breathe. Oh, continue to breathe. In times like these, that's what your heart is for. Continue to breathe. Continue to breathe. In honor of your brother, that's what your heart is for. Fight for your life. Fight for your life in the face of a society that doesn't value your life. For the men in your life, for the boys in your life, for your brothers, for your fathers, for the ones that came before us. For the future, for the future, for the future, for the future. Continue to breathe in times like these. That's what your heart is for. Continue to breathe. Continue to breathe in honor of your brother. That's what your heart is for. Times like these, nothing matters more. Oh, breathe in honor of your brother. That's what your heart is for. Continue to breathe in times like these. That's what your heart is for. Continue to breathe. Continue to breathe. In honor of your brother. That's what your heart is for. Continue to breathe. Continue to breathe. In times like these. That's what your heart is for.
Woo. Yes, every time it hits the soul. I hope it hits your soul. I hope it hits your heart. Remember to breathe, you guys. It's so key and essential to life. Of course, you can't live without breathing. Your body needs the oxygen, but you don't know how much a deep breath can help you, can save lives out here. If some people stopped and took some breaths, okay? Literally saving lives out here. So remember to breathe. Remember to put yourself first, to give yourself a moment when you need a moment because you matter. You matter. Okay? And that's the simplest way you can say, hey, in this moment, I matter. I'm going to take this breath. All right? Because we love y'all. And so now that we are in the right heart and headspace to be in this place, it is the breathe. Experience, creative, Black History Show. So we getting creative. Again, we got Dion Victoria painting live. Okay. We got me. I'm gonna hit y'all with some poetry a little bit later. But we are talking about Black history. So I think we should start by kind of summing up last week's show and then going into some of our favorites, giving you guys some history and why their history is important and why history is important to now, to present day, and how that can push us forward into the future. Because that's definitely where I'm going today. And then we'll kind of break it down with the talents a little bit later. But before we get into all of that, breathe moment. Who needed to breathe this week? Who did it? Who was it? What up? Let us know. Drop down in the comments who needed to breathe this week. Was it you? Was it them kids? Was it the spouse? Was it the co-workers, the boss? Who was it? Mama, daddy, uncle, brother, sister, cousin? Who needed to breathe this week? Go on and drop that thing down in the comments. Dion Victoria, who needed to breathe this week, sis?
Girl, you go first. I got too many people I got to sift through.
Are you on mute? I can't hear you.
Girl, you can hear me now?
Nope, can't hear you. I was just hearing you fine just a second ago.
Okay.
But yeah, y'all, we're gonna talk about who needed to breathe this week again. If you had a breathe moment this week, was it yourself or someone else? Go ahead and drop it down in the comments. Breathe moments for me this week. Again, y'all, I know it's been the same thing for like months at this point. I'm really self-reflecting. It was me again. It was me again, y'all. I'm trying to check myself, okay? I'm trying to be a better person, all right? Breathe moment for me this week was about, and this is a deep one, y'all. I've been really okay. Y'all, I hope this is home for a lot of people. But my brief moment this week was on fear, right? It was on fear. So I say that because not like fear of being afraid of the dark, but fear of success, fear of pushing yourself, fear of a lot of different things, right? So I had to check myself on fear. So I had to take a breath this week and determine, one, was I about to let fear stop me? Am I about to let fear stop me? But first I had to realize the fear was there in the most subtlest ways. It was there. And those subtle ways of fear being there will stop you just as great as you being shaken in your boots scared, right? So what's stopping me? I had to realize, because I am beyond great. Okay, great is an understatement. Y'all might think that cocky, whatever you feel about that. Okay, this is me. I feel like I'm beyond great. I'm beyond talented and I have the skill sets to do whatever I put my mind to. And I see other people around me doing it and I celebrate them. So I know I'm on my right path. I know the journey that I am on is correct, right? But what's stopping me from reaching my next level? And I had to realize that for me, there's a dab or do of fear there. And so my brief moment this week was to acknowledge that and then to figure out what I can do to remove that because I know I am great. I know I am worthy of everything that is meant for me, right? But acknowledging that and figuring out how you can take them steps to remove it completely from your life is the goal. And so that was my brief moment this week. I told you I've been real deep. I've been real deep and reflective for months at this point. I've been like real deep. So that's for all of y'all. Take that and I hope it resonates with someone. And again, y'all drop down in the comments your brief moments as well. Dion Victoria, girl, what was
Can
your brief
you hear me
moment?
now? Can
I
you hear
still
me now?
can't hear you. It's
That's crazy.
so weird. You were just talking, just
I
fine.
know.
Perfect. Try popping out, popping back
What about now? What about now?
because I'm not sure, but I ain't got you, sis. Try hopping out and try hopping back in, or changing your mic settings maybe would work. But yes, y'all. While Dion Victoria works out her technical difficulties, that just magically popped up because that's tech. I think we in a retrograde or coming up on one, so technology finna be acting up. Y'all get this note, special delivery. So don't stress. Take that deep breath. It's gonna be all right. Technology about to start acting up, but it's cool. We're gonna make it through that. All right. All right. So it's Creative Black History Month, y'all. And so show. And so we started talking about Black History Month on the last show around literacy, right? And the different ways Black history ties into literacy. Of course, knowing your history, reading it, writing it. We had a amazing conversation last week with Lamar on Free Your Mind Friday, and one of his notes was that we need to start writing and capturing our own stories. We need to write the books. We need to be the ones writing the books, and how when we do see these really scholarly books on Black history, they're not from us for the most part, and how we need to start creating and telling and capturing our narratives for everyone to see, to go through history, right? And to write the history books themselves. So I agree with that 100%. So literacy wise, we had a great conversation around Black history last week. But this week, we're going to get into the actual history. We're going to drop some history facts on y'all, right? Dion, let's see. Can I hear you? Can we hear you, sis? If you talking right now, we'll hear you.
Can you hear me now? No.
Mm-mm. I ain't got you. It just went away. You were talking clearly.
I know.
Can't hear you. Not sure what's happening with that. But again, try switching the mic settings. But again, while we work that out, Black history. So I wanted to come to you on a few different areas of Black history and why knowing Black history is important to our future. Okay. So Black history is important to our present and our future because one, we need to know as far as the Healing Academy standpoint, right? We need to work on and know what we need to heal. A lot of us don't think about it in this perspective, but we need to know our history because we have generational curses and traumas that's been passed down since since that are on us and in us, and we have no idea what they are and why they are there. So knowing our history, our family history, as well as our overall history, will help us learn to heal from these traumas that we need to heal from. D, let's give it another try.
It's not working.
Oh no, yeah, no, I'm not sure what's happening. You were just good just a second ago. You were just good. I am not sure what's happening there, but so Black history helps, knowing your history helps you to deal with the traumas. Again, it's really important that we talk about this piece, not only general Black history as far as like African American history or even African history, but your family history, your mother, your father, your grandmother, your great grandmother, your grandfather, your great grandfathers, your aunties, your cousins. Like knowing your family history can help you heal through some traumas that was directly passed through the lines, because a lot of times we become our parents and we react to things the way that they reacted to things, unless we make a conscious decision to go the opposite way, right? But these traumas and these life experiences affect us and roll into our lives, which eventually rolls into, if we have children, our children's lives, and the way we parent them and the way we interact with our spouses and other people, right? So knowing our history and Black history specifically is very important in relations to the healing work we need to do to become better people, to become better parents, to become better lovers and spouses, and all of those different things. But then on a larger standpoint, going into, again, African American history, African history, tying that all together, because that is all Black history, honey. You got to go back to the source. I said this last week. I said it on Friday. I said it on Tuesday. I'll say it again. And I'll say it for the rest of my life. It's not just going to be this February, okay? We have to go back to source. We have to go to where it starts. It starts in Africa. It's literally the start of civilization, the start of life. That is our history, right? And we are only working with a piece of our history if we only know American history, African American history, right? And we haven't even scratched the surface on that, because again, originally we were not the ones writing the books. We were not the ones telling our stories. So a lot of times our stories were being told in other people's stories, and we were like a side character. Oh, this person was also here while this white man or white woman was doing this, right? Just being 100% honest. And so it's so many of our ancestors in relations to Black history, all types of history, art history, all types of history that we just have no idea about, that have gave us things to change our lives that we're still using to this day, right? So it's really important to look at Black history in that scope. Yes, African American history. If you want to do African American history first, then go to African history. I'm not going to tell you the perfect way to do it, because everybody is different. Whatever your perspective on it is yours. However you tackle it is yours. But Black history is a necessity, and you have to know your African roots as well. And I know some people say, they're American, they're not African, but baby, again, if you don't know your Black history, you don't 100% know that. You don't 100% know that. Quick story and true facts for my family history, digging into my family history for the past few years, slowly but surely, we've been getting a lot of information on my direct family history. Because again, you need to know African American history, but you also need to know your family history. So I've grown up with my great uncle my whole life, lived in the house with us. In college, I lived with him for a while, like my whole life. This is my great uncle, my mother's father's brother, right? Great uncle. And my mom did a DNA test, and then, it gave her results. And we're like over 90% African, right? So a very small percent. I think it might be like 7% other, right? So 90 something percent African. That's a lot of percent, right? So instantly in our minds, we like, yo, what is going on in the family history that we don't know about, that we're that deep African? Because we all know, being in America, the way slavery was set up, a lot of our ancestors was raped. So there's a lot of mixed going on. But to be 90-something% African was like, whoa, okay. And so then not only that, we were over 50% Nigerian. You're over 50%, more than half Nigerian. So on my mother's side, right? So again, that gets me to thinking. I'm like, it's something in our family history that we don't know to be like more than half Nigerian. So basically, we Nigerian out here and didn't even know. We over 90% straight full-blooded African and did not know. So my uncle happened to be in Chicago at the time, because he ended up moving down south a little while ago. And so my mom, she's telling him like, yeah, and it was this and this. And he go, well, yeah, your grandfather was 100% African. How are we supposed to know this? You're probably literally the only person that has this information living. How are we supposed to know this if you never told us? And again, lives with my great uncle my whole life since I was a kid. He was there, and we're just getting this information. And I know I felt some type of way about it, but I know my mother had to feel some type of way about it. She's in her 50s, and she's just getting this information about her grandfather, right? So again, there's so much that we have no idea about in our own family history that can tell us a whole lot, y'all. So that's a part of African American Black melanated history, right? So we are African. I said all of that, went down my little family history to say we all, again, Africa's source. You can pinpoint a whole lot of other countries and continents. They African too. Okay. That's source. And when you really look at it, you'll understand your greatness. So African history is really important to African American history because in America, they don't show us or tell us our greatness. They don't do that because it benefits them to keep us in the dark. But when you learn it for yourself, because sadly, the way education is set up right now, you have to do it for yourself. Seek this information. You'll learn that we wrote the first books. We were kings and queens. We astrology, that's us. Mathematics, that's us. Science, that's us. Medicine, that's us. All of these things were us. We taught it to them, and then they give it back to us and make us feel like we special or we can't learn or we're ignorant or we're this and we're that. And we kind of talked about this a little bit last week as well. But this is why it's important, because if you don't have your roots, if you're not rooted in something, then you'll be drifting in the wind. And that's what's happening right now with us as a culture and as a people. We're drifting in the wind, especially when we look at our children and the younger generation. And a lot of people are looking at these kids and they're talking about these kids, but we are raising them. And so if we're not grounding them in the concepts of you are amazing, you come from scholars, you come from kings and queens, you come from this, you come from that, and really giving them that Black history, the facts, you're not just saying it, pulling it out your pocket. You're literally showing them these pharaohs and these warriors and these scientists and these, like, coming to African American history, these Black people coming straight out of slavery and patenting. They're putting patents on their inventions and they're being amazing, and they are amazing. And these are things that are necessities in 2021, and Black people created it, right? You're strengthening their foundation of who they are and letting them know that they are amazing. They are great. And when you give them that early, there is literally nothing that can take that away from them. But if they're out here drifting in the wind already, it's going to be harder to get them grounded, to get them rooted. It's not impossible, but it's going to be harder. But if we ground our children in the knowledge of who they are and what they are and what they can be, and the power and the strength and the intelligence and the greatness that is literally in their DNA and in their blood, and we show them these magical people, right? We show them. We don't just make it up. We show them these people who've accomplished amazing things, who's educating the world outside of the people that they give you on the regular, right? Outside of Michelle, listen, Michelle and Barack is boss, okay? They fine out here. They super swaggy, absolutely great role models. But let's take that thing back, right? People coming out of slavery becoming millionaires, building businesses. What? In the middle of the Great Depression, building institutions and organizations that's still here. What? In the middle of segregation, breaking barriers, performing. Like in every field, in every avenue, there is Black people, whether on this continent or other continents. Melanated people have always been excellent, have always been amazing. And that's that piece. Dion, can you speak for me?
Yeah.
Got you.
Oh, okay.
Your camera's off. Boom. Now, sis, I'm gonna be real with you. I actually think it was my computer and not yours.
And I was like, I've done everything. It's reading the audio. It's reading it. So I'm about to head out. Okay, cool.
I think it was me, sis. I just tapped the button on my computer. It was like this whole time it was me.
I'm so done. Cornell, you right on time. The show, you right on time.
You on time, sis. You ain't missed nothing. Just me giving this groundwork on what we about to go into on this Black history and why it's important.
Girl.
Family history and otherwise. But my bad. So if y'all was listening and y'all heard Dion, but I couldn't, it was my L. I'm gonna take that. My L, my L, my L. Dion was losing her mind. She's like, no, it's reading.
I was. I'm like, I've done my things.
There's nothing more. It's above me now.
It's above me now. I was gonna chat you. I was gonna hop on Facebook and chat a little bit and be like, all right, I contributed.
It's above me now. It was definitely, I think it was definitely my computer. My bad. So, my bad.
My brief moment. I don't know if you saw it when I messaged you, but it's me in that moment. Like, just I'm glad. What I'm grateful for though, that I was breathing the whole time, because that was frustrating. Like, to be trying to figure out technology, because like outside of like it being, you know what I mean? You've always been in the position of trying to figure something out, and it's just like, I can't figure this out. I don't know what I'm supposed to do, and you know what?
Brief moment.
Okay, I'm good.
So I gave you a brief moment today. You're welcome.
Leave it settling.
Yeah, you know I got you, sis.
You are so irritating. Irritating.
So I was like, I was wondering, but I couldn't comment at the time. Ty, you could have saved us. Why couldn't you comment? But it's all right. Look, we done figured that thing out, y'all.
Goodness gracious. So yeah.
Brief moment. It's about to be a fun show.
It's already been a blast. So on that regard, welcome to the Breathe Experience, y'all who are just tuning in.
Welcome.
You gave my brief moment. You gave yours. You talked about history a little bit. I'll give my perspective.
Please
like
do.
History, y'all. History.
History.
I was about to say history is facts, because it can neither be unwritten or unwritten. I don't know what that meant, but that's what came out of my head. But anyway,
Who's telling the history?
that's what came to my head, because I was like, but wait, there's more. Because, like you said, depends on who's telling the history. The story is being retold. So who's retelling it and how? One of the things I wanted to talk about when it comes to history, our people historically have retold. She said bars.
Come on,
Our
boy.
people have historically retold our stories orally. So it only makes sense that we thrive on conversation. Like, we thrive on talking to each other. We thrive on clear communication. In some cultures outside of the English language, okay, I'm going on tangents. Let me start with my first tangent. In some cultures outside of the English language, there is only one way to say that thing. You know what I mean? Whatever the thing is, there's only one sound, one formation of the mouth. There's only one way to say it. And if you mix it up, you could be saying something completely different.
That's
and then in that case, you may be in a little bit of trouble. In America and any of the other English-speaking countries, the Latin Romance languages, you can say things 50 million ways. In fact, their letters don't even follow their rules. The alphabet does not follow. They break the rules all the time.
Alphabet is crazy.
Rules. It's like, wait a second. You said this formation meant this, but in this word it means that. How?
It'd be like certain letters, it'd be two letters, but it make 7 different sounds.
Come on.
Houseway.
And then, and then in addition to that, like, what is the culture? Let's just back it up. Back it up, because we want to focus on the light energy right now. I'm not about to focus on stuff that steals from us. The importance of having languages that are clear, that we can communicate with, and so that stuff, and I don't want to say stuff because you know how I talk, stuff doesn't come through clear.
You talking about ish?
Don't come through clear at all, because I'm sorry, we have a clear language so that our ish comes through clear. We have to rethink about how, like, words should mean what they mean and not be like all this room for interpretation. And that is a historical thing for us and for cultures outside of these Romance languages. And so when we retell our stories, it then becomes easier to stick to the story historically, because from the sounds, even before we get to words, the sounds mean a specific thing and they don't flip on you.
And like, even when you look at images, like culturally, and we're definitely gonna talk about this more on Friday with Free Your Mind Friday, because the artist that I'm having come on, he actually gave an amazing quote just in us having a text message conversation, and I was like, "Oh, we finna speak." But he went to talk about the drawings on the pyramid, right, and how we've always been orally or visually telling our stories of our culture, of our people, of our warriors, of our leaders through dance, through the images on the walls, through symbols, through again orally telling the stories. There was a griot in each village and each tribe that would tell the stories and keep the information passing down that way. But the issue with that is when it comes to present day, and this is why I made the documentary Sit at Their Feet, and I advocate for people to speak to their elders and for elders to speak to the young people, is when the disconnect happens somewhere along the line, our information stops passing through. And when the information stops passing to the younger generation, then we are in a tough place, because then when those elders pass away, they pass away with the knowledge. They pass away with the information. They pass away with the history. That's detrimental to Black culture. If we aren't capturing, as young people, if we aren't capturing those stories and sharing them now in 2021, not only verbally, but writing them, as far as writing our own books, as far as videotaping and recording and capturing these stories however we can, we look up one day and all of our history is lost, right? If we are not telling these stories, if we don't capture these stories from these elders before they pass on, the information is gone. And somewhere along the line, and the way the system is set up, you can pinpoint a lot of different ways why this is happening. But somewhere along the line, that line got cut, and we start missing a lot of the information that we need from these elders. And it's so important.
And that's why Melanated in America is important.
Absolutely. That's why it was created.
We and the Healing Academy, because think about
Absolutely.
it. With the media that we create with Melanated in America, we then have, and even Dion Victoria Studios to a certain extent, we then have the media that we want to feed our children so that they can walk in the knowledge. Creating your documentary, creating more documentaries like that. It's essential. Absolutely. Because we have to, and think about this. I was reading this book, I forgot what it's called. It's not important right now, but it was it mentioned like children shouldn't watch TV, something, yada yada. Then I realized our children learn from pictures.
That's how we learn.
So
that's how we learn.
Come on. Come
That's
on.
how we learn. And they know that though. Because they study us. This is the thing about Black history, y'all. I want y'all to take this in. I want y'all to take a deep breath. And I want y'all to breathe while y'all take this in. Okay? They study us. When we talk about Black history, if you want to really talk about Black history, Black art, Black anything,
Look at the top
they
universities.
study us. They know more about us than we know about us. And this is the kicker. Breathe through this. That's why they don't tell us. They study us. That's why they're the ones writing the books. That's why they're the ones over there raiding the pyramids and the. Why you think? Why do you think this is, guys? We got to use those critical thinking skills from week one in literacy. All right.
Mhm.
It's important for us to tell our stories, but we have to know the story to tell a story.
Come on.
This is why history is so important. And going back to what Dion was saying on language, they get to mold and rewrite the history because they're the ones who know it. And they're telling it from a different skewed lens, right? So it's really, really important for us to know the history. Go back to source again, starting in Africa, leading that thing down to all this American history we got. Because it's so much. It's so much. Okay. Just like it's so much African history, it's so much, but they go together. And then once we know it, we can start writing it. But baby, they know our history. They know it back for. And they're not teaching it to us. And then they're also not teaching it to the average white folk.
And also, they only teach the parts they want us to know.
Exactly. Because the part that tell you amazing, the part that tell you brilliant, the part that tell you this is yours, this is really yours. You created this. You made this. This your ancestors built this country. All those parts give you ownership. All of those parts give you power. So all of those parts take them out of power. So they can't tell you this yours. They can't tell you wrote this. They can't tell you your ancestors made this. They can't tell you that. Even to the point where we talking about African American culture, we talking about the people who created things like the alarm system. That was a black woman. That was a black woman. Who got an alarm in their house? Raise your hand. That was a black woman and her husband. Black people. Okay? On the board. Y'all still got one of them? Black woman. Stoplight. Who's driving down the street? Whoever rode in the car. And thanks God that stoplight was there. Okay? And the list can go on cell phone. Okay? The list can go on and on and on. Who got them to the moon? Black woman. Okay? Hidden figures. Like, it can go on and on and on. But they can't tell you that. Because it empowers you. It gives you strength. It lets you know that if they could do it back then, ain't nothing you can't do right now. That's why this is important. That's why Black history is so important. They give you the whitewash version of everything because it benefits them. It flatters them. So when we tell our story, we got to tell it from our truth, the truth. Because we're doing our children a disservice and got them floating out here, not rooted and anchored to nothing in life, thinking that they're the lesser. Never, sweetheart. Never. If you look at the grimiest average, I was going to say some curse words in that sentence, but I stopped myself. Hoods, right? If you go to the hood and see these beautiful brown babies making something out of nothing, you'll know you great. They don't know that's great because they just think that's a part of them and average and society say they ain't nothing. But baby, talking about visual, that's what got us started because they know us. They studied us. They researched us. They know we learn from dance. They know we learn from music. They know we learn from television and what we see. They know all of these things culturally are foundations to us, but we don't. But why you think them kids learn them songs so quick? Why you think they can pick up them dance moves so well? Because that's how we learn. That's how we used to share the history. That's how we used to tell the stories, right? And so they use it against us. Why you think most of our mainstream musicians and TV and film and all this other stuff is portraying certain messages? Because they research us, but we don't research us.
So that being said, that's why history is so important, you guys. Chanel said they know and they don't want us to know because if we know our history or power, they know what will happen. And that's the important thing we want to walk away with and start really turning our focus on is that it's important that we know our history so we can regain our power and know our truth. That's why it's important to start historically with the self. Then you start thinking about your family and finding out the history behind the name that you carry. Come on, find out why you get that name and what was the purpose for you coming here. And then from
Mm-hmm.
go back and back and back, and you start to realize how knowing yourself first connects you to knowing everything that ever came before, right? And will connect you
Absolutely.
into your future so that you can know what you're looking at, what you're looking for. Everything that has has happened before, right? We know that everything that has happened is just has a different face this time or a different look, right? So if we can gain that collective knowledge from our past, we can
Mm-hmm.
apply it to our present and their
Come on.
shape our future.
Come
So
on.
that's kind of the angle that we're coming at y'all with why it's so important. Pick up a book. Like, come on.
Read a book.
Pick a
Read
book.
a
And if the book
book.
not getting to you, go watch a documentary.
Yes, documentaries are powerful. And
It's
there's so many out there and there's so many left to be made. So if you're a creator, create it.
Come on, man. And then if you're like, man, this is some important information, but the way I found it, I'm not super interested in how I had to digest this information. Create something so that other people can digest it,
Mm-hmm.
pass on the knowledge.
That's
Like,
what's so powerful about art.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like we talked about this on a creative show once before. Yeah, you can definitely go into your experiences because you can learn more from looking at a painting than you can from reading a book sometimes.
come
One painting can go through decades of history of a culture. One painting.
on. Paintings tell stories that words can only try and attempt to tell. Here's okay. I'm gonna show y'all something real quick. I'm gonna show it on the brush, and you can't really see it. But do y'all see how rich that paint is? How thick it is?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all see the color? It's like a deep brown.
Mm-hmm.
Look how it's laid out on this. It's related. I know it's off topic a little bit.
No, it's the creative Black History Show.
Look how it lays on the palette on the canvas. Do y'all see that? It like captures light. You can't even really
Oh, I saw the light when you moved the screen there.
right? I
Yeah.
have to. Okay, so it's hard to see, but when I put this is gonna get weird. Please don't judge me. When
It's
I
a creative show. Most creatives are weird anyway. We know. We know us.
when I put this paint on this canvas,
Irritate.
the emotions in my body, the chemical reaction that occurs is
Uh-huh.
highly favorable. So what I'm getting at is that emotion, those feelings, that energy in the body
It's going into the painting.
going into the painting.
And energy is transferred.
Come on. And when y'all see it, y'all gonna feel that ish too.
Come on here. Come on here. Say that, sus. Come on here. But that's what's so great about art. That's like you ever seen a performer like perform. Like if we were talking about a live piece, it could be a dance, it could be a poem, it could be a theatrical piece, a monologue. But you know when that artist, whichever form they on stage giving you, is giving you their energy.
Yes.
When you're in if film can do it too. Film and television can do it too. You're crying at the TV and don't even know why you're crying at the TV. But it's something special about that live performance when you're right in front of them and you that energy is literally going into you. It's amazing. Now imagine if you take all of that heat, all of that emotion, all of that fire, all of that power, all of that information vehicle that art is and can be, and put a message behind that. Put like a real message, put real knowledge, put real facts, real history that will change a generation, that will change a lineage, that will change a culture in it. And look what happened. Just take, for instance, the people who've done it. Billie Holiday.
Come on,
My
come on.
God.
Let me tell y'all about these artists. Nina Simone. I know that wasn't
Baby
the
Nina.
word I talk about.
Yes. Go talk about Nina.
She just came to my soul.
Come on
Nina
here.
Simone.
Yes. Talk
Okay.
about her.
Will, if you listen to a Nina Simone song and don't walk away feeling something, something's wrong with you. Go to
It's
the
you. It's
doctor.
not her. It's
You
you.
gotta go get checked out. Go get that checked out.
A
Something's not
few different doctors. The physical doctor, the psychiatrist, all of them.
see all of them. Because Miss Nina Simone and her singing in
Birds in the sky, you know how I feel. Yes.
long story short, art will make you feel, and we're connecting this to history. So you want to make sure you're looking at historical pieces, pieces that went through some time. We could even go, I mean, come on, hieroglyphs, they're art, y'all. It's
That's art. That's art.
it's art and it's history.
Come on. The Sphinx, the pyramids,
Come on,
that's
and
architecture, that's art. Those
let's
are huge sculptures.
come on, come on, come on.
And it's depicting us. And it tells so much truth that they're afraid of it. That's why they're the ones over there whitewashing the walls and
That's how
knocking noses
I don't
off.
care about them, sis. I don't
And
care about
knocking noses off the Sphinx. Why you think that Sphinx had? It had a nose originally.
it did, and it showed that beautiful, big old full nose. And but
With them Jackson 5 nostrils, as Beyonce said.
the sad part is for them. For us, it's the truth. The part that everybody has to recognize is that in in the end, those who live their truth will prosper. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I got.
It's about the end drops mic.
I'm about to drop my pen. I can actually. It's,
Drop paintbrush.
close. I knew I
I
should.
dropped the mic for you. So hold on, I got the mic for you. Drop mic. But I mean, that's the thing though, y'all. Like we say all of this to say the importance of knowing your history and to start, like literally just start with what you like. If you think the concept of it is too deep and do, just start with what you like, right? Like we talked about artists, we talked about Nina Simone. If you rock with music, check that out. You know what? Backtrack. Your favorite artist has a favorite artist. Who's that favorite
And,
artist? And
and
who's that favorite artist? And then listen to their music and see what they're saying. Because if you listen to older artists in 2021 does it. Yes, you heard songs and music about the movement and what happened with George Floyd and Black Lives Matter. You hear like artists speak on it now, but so much so they did it back then, right? And
yeah,
it was necessary because they didn't have a voice. They were in lanes where literally, I mentioned Billie Holiday, they killed this woman. They tried to lock her up for getting on stage and singing the truth. Y'all lynching people, and it's crazy. And it needs to stop. They tried to lock this woman up. They killed this woman because she got on stage and sung a song about the truth. This is how powerful your truth is. People have died for it. People were murdered for the truth. So we need to tell these stories. We need to know their names. We need to call them Ashe. Like it's so important. Nina Simone, absolutely. She was one of them. Strange fruit, y'all. Like listen to the words of the song. They've been telling our truth. Chanel mentioned how she feels the same way when you paint. She feels the same way when she writes a poem or performs a piece. Like these are our tools. Our paintbrushes are our tools. Our pens are our tools. Our microphones are our tools. Our cameras are our tools. Gordon Parks, if y'all don't know Gordon Parks, go look at his work. He was telling our story through photography before anybody else knew what it looked like in the hoods across the world. Chicago, New York, Mississippi, Alabama, Paris. He was everywhere with his camera showing us Black people, their humanity, the states that they were living in.
one thing I want to say about Gordon Parks and a lot of these artists, please know that they were actually very well educated.
Very well educated.
Those of us who are going out and getting an education, it is our we have to.
Big
We
time.
carry the responsibility of sharing that knowledge because we were privileged enough to go
Come
and
on.
obtain it. So we
Come
have to
on.
take what we learn wherever we go and bring it back to our home because not everybody has that opportunity.
Come on.
And not like in a way of like a savior complex. You got to make sure you're not trying to save nobody, but just give them the opportunity to be exposed to it.
And doing what's right. That's what's right.
Yeah,
What's right is that you get this information, you get these opportunities, you get this knowledge, and you bring it home. It's like principles of Kwanzaa, collective work and economics.
yeah.
Like it's your responsibility to make sure that we leave our culture and our community better than how we found it. How do we do that? We go get resources and we bring it back. We
Well,
educate people. We create art. We work together. We inspire people. We give them the knowledge. And we keep that generational line going of passing the torch, of passing the stories in every form, fashion that we can. Dance, painting, writing, performing, video, photo, whatever it is, we have to, that's our jobs. That is our jobs. We are failing at our jobs. A lot of us need to be fired. Okay?
you
Whatever
know,
that is for life, to get fired from life, whatever that is. But it is our job to make sure that we are instilling this information not within only within ourselves, because a lot of times sadly it's not our fault we don't have this information. It's not our fault we don't have the drive and the passion to do it, right? But once you know, I say this all the time, once you know better, you're supposed to do better. We have to re-educate ourselves. It's sad, but it's true. And then we have to re-educate the people around us, our children. We have to root and ground our children in the knowledge of their greatness. And that comes from knowing your history, your family line history, your ancestral history, as far as culturally, and all the way back to Africa.
and it starts with the self, though, y'all. I don't.
Yeah.
Let's. We have to learn about our family, our ancestry, going all the way back. But make sure you start by learning yourself. Here you are, whatever age you are, work your way back and figure out your history, your past, clear up your stuff. Because when you start going around digging up your ancestors and thinking about them and inviting them into your life and then being a part of their life, essentially, you
Mm-hmm.
want to make sure you're as clear and as much of a beacon of their truth and honoring them that you can possibly be. You don't want to go start dipping and diving and don't know what's happening. Wait, dipping and dapping and don't know what's happening? That's what they used to
Come on, bars.
say.
But that's the truth, though. We are grown. It's some grown elders out here who don't know. Know thyself. Know thyself. And but our ancestors, this is another part of that though, they had the tools, they had the rituals, they had the practices, the rites of passages. They knew how to get you tapped into who you are and who you were meant to be. We got further and further away from that. Originally it wasn't our fault. Again, we were kidnapped and brought to this country and basically with history of everything before that beaten out of us. But look where we are. Look who we are. We will continue to thrive and survive. Right? But once we see those tools, we have to use those tools and then we got to teach those tools. Uh y'all know about the African names, days of the week names. And how about the day of the week that you're born, it can tell you who you are. Y'all, I got my name. And I was like, these people don't know me.
How they know me?
How do they know me? Like, you're reading yourself on a piece of paper and all they know is the day you were born.
Not even the date, just the day.
Not
Was it a
even the date.
Wednesday?
The day you were born. And you're like, they know me to the T, flaws and all, accomplishments, like my personality, just by the day you were born. Come on, just that alone, our ancestors knew some stuff, y'all. They was tapped in, y'all. We need to get tapped into what they was tapped into, okay? Because they knew some stuff. And then if you grow up knowing that, I use a lot of what I learned to parent the best way I can and to be a better parent. Because I'm taking that information. And now I'm going to go see what my son's talking about, okay? And then I'm gonna take that information and I'm gonna rear him in a certain way and let him know this information. So he's 2 years old, but baby, he finna grow up with this work. You finna get this work. You finna get this knowledge. And imagine that's what the Healing Academy is about. Taking all of this history and this knowledge and this greatness that we are learning and giving it to our children. That is why we're starting a school. That is why the Healing Academy is going to be a thing. Pre-K through 12th grade and maybe one day scholastic. We talking about some secondary education because it's important to not only give your children the base of education, reading, writing, math, science, but who they are, to really ground them in their person, who I am, the culture that I come from, the history that leads up to me. Because I'm a continuation of Black history. And that's the thing, too. You are Black history. Going back to what I said I had to breathe on for this week. I'm amazing and I'm greatness. And who says I can't? If you can't, if they can, I can. Giving that sense of spirit to your children and grounding them in that work. That's what this is all about. So is Black History Month still necessary? I was finna curse. Heck yeah, it is. I was about to curse.
Yeah,
That question is ridiculous. Because you don't even know the fraction of your history. The people who are saying that you don't even know a third of your history. You ain't even made it to step one of for real Black history and knowing thyself. Is it important? Yes. Because who are you? You don't know who you are if you're not tapped into Black history. And they give you the whitewash versions of your idols because everything again started with us. Because I'm just saying, Dorothy Dandridge is my girl. Everybody talking about Marilyn, she was cool and spicy and all. But Dorothy Dandridge was that for us. They was actually friends. She actually put her on. If you go back and get the history on that.
Mm-hmm.
Why we ain't celebrating Dorothy Dandridge and I see all these Black women out here with Marilyn Monroe purses and all types of stuff? Why you ain't celebrating Dorothy Dandridge? Because you don't know about her.
Right.
But why is that? Because they telling the history. So you look like you had something to say, so.
Yeah, I'm
and
ready.
You look like you really excited.
Oh,
you ready for what?
I'm ready for this poem, but
okay.
That's not exactly like, girl.
Why you were excited? Are you gonna show us this? Because I want to see this. Do y'all want to see this or not? Are you showing us this?
No.
You not showing it?
Not yet. Not until.
But it's the Creative Black History Show.
I'll show you a part of it.
Rude. Rude.
Let's see. Okay. So
the hands. Yeah, you were working on the hands the first day, so I guess that's accurate to show us the hands. Okay. Yep. Come on, hands. I see you. Them hands are nice though.
I'm right. I'm like, I snapped.
Go crazy.
Yeah.
But I could definitely drop this poem on y'all. I hope y'all felt the vibes that we was putting down, okay? Because it's necessary. Black history is necessary. Black history is our history, and you will never fully know who you are until you tap into that thing. Okay? So this poem, it kind of ties into what we're talking about and how we can awaken ourselves as a people and really truly understand and learn our greatness through learning Black history. So here we go. The thing that I can't seem to get is how we have come to this. My brothers and my sisters just don't get it. They rather lay up and get blazed up when they can't even get their grades up. Walking around with their pants hanging down, always wearing a frown. But wait, don't you know you come from crowns? And now we mad what for, man? We don't even know anymore, but the jails just keep getting fuller with our Black men leaving women to fend for themselves. Or our kids, they getting screwed over. Because daddies and mommies are gone. She off that Patron and they ain't got no food at home. But they hit the streets messing around trying to be like Big Meech. See, we're getting good where we're at, rocking head nets or getting checks. But wait, don't you know God's got something better yet? I say we getting good where we're at, rocking J's with big trucks. But our souls messed up. See, Brother Martin had a dream, and that dream was of me, but we all need to stand up and fulfill our destiny. We all need to say that this change starts today. And that piece is called the change. I hope y'all got that message. I hope y'all got that
Yes,
message.
because we do have to be the change
Come on.
we want to see.
Absolutely.
So let us imagine that. So go ahead and get into a comfortable place, whether you're sitting or lying down. Take your shoulders, lift them up, and pull them back down so that your heart comes forward. Take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Feel free to close your eyes if you are able and comfortable enough to. And as you sit with your eyes closed and your shoulders relaxed, recognize yourself and your greatness. Just do a quick scan and appreciate every part of your body, no matter how it feels, whether you're comfortable or not, whether you feel good or not. Just take a moment and appreciate your body for being present in this moment. There's so many things that could have gone on, and without you really doing anything, your body just keeps on operating. So be grateful for that. Stand in that joy, bask in that peace, love that light. Take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the nose. Let's take a few more. As you breathe in, recognize where you come from. Be grateful for the DNA that made you this way because you were born from greatness, as you know, as Miss Natalie B has shown us, has told us, and every day expresses greatness in and of herself. Y'all be grateful. I'm grateful. And I hope y'all are grateful for every moment that made it so that you can be here. Because anything, we could have been slightly closer to the sun, just slightly, and we would not have been here. All those moments that happened from the beginning of time to bring us here was for a purpose. Recognize that light in you. Take a deep breath in and accept it. And take a big exhale out. Letting go of anything that gets in the way of your greatness. When you're ready, slowly blink your eyes open. I hope y'all feel the love, like real talk. I really hope like everybody that hears me right now feels loved right now because you deserve it. You are so beautiful. And everything that you are, I hope y'all really feel loved because y'all deserve
So thank you for that, sis.
it.
I feel loved, sis.
I don't know where that
I
came
hope
from. Sorry.
I hope you feel loved too, though,
You know what I do? I really
because
do.
you deserve it too.
Thank you.
We all do. I hope y'all felt it. I know I did.
Yeah.
I I always come up from the breath feeling a little high, and my eyes still a little low, but I feel some extra love on that too. Put a little extra
Love,
love on
love
that too.
me.
Love you, love you. Oh, thanks, y'all. Thanks, D. That was beautiful, sis. I feel it. I'm gonna hold it real here. My hands ain't moved. I'm gonna keep it right here on my heart. Keep that love right here. Keep it right here. I hope y'all feel that. And I hope that y'all, within this search of Black history, again, just closing notes, start with what you like. There have been excellent Black people in every field. So if you like motorcycles, we were there. You like astrophysics, we was there. Like wherever, whatever it is, you like chess, we in there too. Whatever it is, start with that and just keep working your way all the way back to source, because you are powerful beyond measure. If only you knew. You are greatness personified. Come on. It's in you if only you knew, right? So it's time to learn. That's up to us. And the Healing Academy got you. We're going to come with you. And another one. We're going to come with the facts and keep reminding you just how great and how loved and how powerful and how amazing you are. Not only all Black History Month, but all year round. So we are about to head out. Hope you enjoyed today's show. It will be up on YouTube. And feel free to check in with us all throughout the week as we drop facts on our social media, our Facebook and our Instagram. And then we are on the Healing Academy page on Fridays with Free Your Mind Fridays with the Healing
Oh,
Academy. Oh,
Thursday.
oh,
Map your life,
Thursday.
y'all. Map your life. Tune in. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Map your life.
Yes.
Thursday.
Free event. I'll go ahead after today. After the show, after we log out, I'll post it to the Breathe Experience page and the Healing Academy page. It's a free event. Life mapping. If you've done vision boards, you'll love life mapping. It's a in-depth layout of your dreams, of your goals, your master plan. Okay, so instead of just looking at it, you gonna map that thing out.
Yes. Ooh,
And let Dion tell it, honey, because her maps be coming true. I'm just trying to sit next to her while she make hers, okay? Even though it's gonna be virtual.
be careful, guys.
Be careful what you ask for, okay? Because if that thing come true, we manifested and
if
put
your
it
mind
on
changes, then you need to make a new map. If you change your mind, you won't let that no more. Make a new map. Okay, I'm sorry.
immediately. Because that thing come true, okay?
Yeah.
Dion's life maps is next level, okay? She was the first person to introduce me to life mapping, and baby, that thing come true. So life mapping with Dion Victoria and the Healing Academy Thursday. I'll post the event page. Go over, sign up, free event. Tell a friend and tell a friend and tell a friend and share it with a friend. It's on the 11th. Y'all don't want to miss it. Life changing. If y'all want to get rooted and map out your lives, your future, your business, your financial wealth, because that's coming, the increase, the overflow, that's where you do it on the 11th. All right. Thank you for that, D. Got to let them know. Got to let them know. Appreciate you, sir. And then again, Friday with Free Your Mind Friday on the Healing Academy page. We have an amazing artist from Mississippi actually coming to us with some work. So y'all definitely don't want to miss that. Until next time, y'all, we love you. We appreciate you. And we'll holla up. Chanel said, I'm rooted. Get rooted. We'll see y'all next week or later this week. See ya.